Alright, hello everybody, thank you for joining me this afternoon. We are live now with a tornado warning for Janesville, Wisconsin here, as we have got a rotating storm here that has had a history of producing damaging winds and large hail, as we can see by the severe thunderstorm warning that is also on this storm for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. We have 9 severe thunderstorm warnings and 1 tornado warning. One of those severe thunderstorm warnings is for 1.75-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds in the Mount Pleasant, Iowa area, and this storm may even start to develop rotation as well, so you got to look out for that. So seek shelter if you are in that warning, or if you are in the ongoing tornado warning that we have for the Janesville area. There's some tight rotation ongoing here. We have had several tornado warnings today. I was very surprised that at the 2 p.m. update Central Time that they did not issue a slight risk of severe weather. We're sitting here for a marginal risk for all the way from Louisiana and Texas back into Wisconsin. So it's a very large area to have a marginal risk for without having a slight risk. We do have a live cam here in Brooklyn, Wisconsin, just to the west of our tornadic thunderstorm there. You can see we got some rain showers falling, so we'll probably go ahead and keep that on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen as a big storm is approaching that area. The current temperature out here is about 55 to 60 degrees, so nothing really too worrisome about this turning into snow. It is likely going to be a big severe weather producer here for the next several hours. Even going into the overnight hours, we could see some severe weather in parts of the Midwest, okay? So, again, we're kind of alternating here between our storms up in the Midwest and our storms down here in the Deep South, but at the minute, the ones up in the Midwest are much more concerning, as some of them are developing rotation here. I am not sure if we've had a tornado on the ground yet today. Obviously, I've been at school all day. I just got home, so I'm actually going to go ahead and check Twitter here, see if we've had any tornadoes today. I know we've had at least 1 or 2 tornado warnings. Yeah, so there's the Wisconsin tornado warning, Louisiana, let's see here. Yeah, so we've only had 2 tornado warnings today, I do believe, yeah. And no confirmed tornadoes yet, but one of them was earlier in Louisiana. We have had a ton, and I mean a ton, of severe thunderstorm warnings. If you hear the beep, beep, beep going off, that means a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for somewhere, okay? So we're going to watch these storms because they are really popping off here. I'm just scrolling through the NWS severe thunderstorm page here, see if there's been any significant ones. Let's see. Big hail seems to be associated with these storms, but I mean, we are getting severe thunderstorm warnings every few minutes, which is kind of insane. There are severe storms all across the Midwest and the Deep South pretty much right now. So, again, tornadoes are a little bit more concerning than originally thought for this event here. I would not be surprised if we saw a tornado in this stream, but I think the biggest threat is large hail out of all of them here. Still scrolling through here, there have been so many severe thunderstorm warnings today. None of them have been that bad, but we have had some significant hail activity, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull up chat here for this stream, so if you have any questions about your location, leave them down below. Again, this event was a little bit conditional on a couple of things, and it's looking like it's taking one of the worst scenarios here. Not the worst scenario, but one of the not good scenarios, I guess you could put it that way. So, yeah, again, we got that tornado warning here for Janesville, Wisconsin. So, the rotation's really past Janesville now. It's kind of down here towards Beloit. So, if you're Beloit, stay in shelter. Janesville, it's probably good to leave shelter now. But just know you could still see some severe thunderstorm activity. Go back down here to Arkansas, see if any of these storms are doing anything too concerning. We are in a bit of a radar hole down here, though, so it's going to be hard to see. But yeah, nothing too major with those at the minute. Much more concerned about this storm up here in Wisconsin that does have some tornadic-looking rotation on it. If we go ahead and play this a few scans back, yeah, I mean, it was even more intense just a few minutes ago, but it's still no bueno here towards Beloit. So we may see a brief tornado touchdown here. May have already seen one, but no confirmed reports yet. Let's see here. We do have several storm chasers on these. We've got Brandon Kopic up here in northwestern Illinois. Let's see, we've got Corey Gherkin down here in Shreveport. Don't know if that's Vince Welty or just a live cam. But yeah, we've got storm chasers all over the place for this event because it is turning out to be much worse than originally thought, it looks like. They've updated this tornado warning here. Still a radar indicated threat, but it has shrunk. It no longer includes the Janesville area. So if you're in Janesville, you can officially leave your shelter, your safe place. But Town of Turtle, Tiffany, Clinton, next up. You're next up. This thing is right here. Even if it's not doing a tornado at the minute, a little bit off the surface here. Again, these are elevated. These are not surface winds, but about half a degree off the surface, we've got winds up to 70 miles an hour, it looks like. So we'll see here. We've also got a pretty big hail core on this thing. Again, very interesting setup. You can see, again, all the way from the Gulf of Mexico back into the Great Lakes. Like, that is insane, considering there's no other risks in here except for the marginal risk. So, again, very big storm here. Right now, the most concerning areas seem to be eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. And we're going to watch these storms here for a little bit. Again, though, we are very concerned about the Beloit, Wisconsin area. Actually, just a little bit to the northeast of Beloit now. We've got some concerning-looking rotation. Again, right over Town of Turtle, even if there's not a tornado, about half a degree elevated, there could be winds up to 95, maybe even 100 miles an hour estimated by radar. So surface winds are still probably pretty high with that. But again, those are just some isolated gusts. It's not like a widespread thing, 95 to 100 miles an hour, a little bit off the surface. It's just that one gust there. So, if you see any damage from Town of Turtle, that's not necessarily tornadic. Could be from those damaging winds. But again, we are very concerned with the tornado dropping here with this storm. Again, nothing confirmed, but concerning rotation here around Town of Turtle, Clinton, and Tiffany there in Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin. We have not had any beep beep beeps yet on the stream, but just before I started the stream, they were all popping off. And as soon as I say that, we get one. That is a new severe thunderstorm warning there for Walworth and Rock Counties, Wisconsin. I also noticed the storm in eastern Iowa got upgraded to 2-inch hail here. 2-inch hail approaching Mount Pleasant. You need to get to your safe place if you're included in this. Bring your car inside. You have time. You have a little bit of time there in Mount Pleasant. Bring your pets inside. Anything outdoors will likely be damaged if it gets hit by hail like this. As the impact reads, people and animals outdoor will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, sidings, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roof, siding, and trees. So again, you want to get somewhere in your house that doesn't have any windows, alright? You also want to get as far away from the roof as possible. So lowest floor of your house, away from windows, which is kind of like your typical tornadic safe place as well. But that is for the hail. So we should get a rotation update pretty soon here. A velocity update, I should say. Again, we only have one tornado warning at the minute, but it is relatively concerning here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to be for Scotland and Clark counties in Missouri. So now we got some severe storms up here in northern Missouri, it looks like, with maybe even a little bit of rotation there. We do have tornado possible tags on this. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, I told you, they're going off every few seconds now. That is for Rock Island County, Illinois, Scott County, Iowa, Muscatine County, Iowa, and Mercer County, Illinois. That does include Davenport. That's 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1.5-inch hail, and tornado possible tag. There is a very concerning rotation couplet here towards Marston. Well, with that new radar update, not quite as bad, but for a few seconds there, that looked pretty intense there. Um, we could have seen a tornado there in the Marston area. If not a tornado, damaging winds up to 90 miles an hour, just a half degree elevated. So we'll see if we get any tornado reports out of that area. But I want to check up on our tornado warning here in Janesville area, because I imagine we have that velocity update now. Yes, we do. Yeah, again, very concerning winds here with this storm. Again, even if there's not a tornado, isolated gusts over 100 miles per hour, possibly half a degree off the surface. So again, surface winds are not 100 miles an hour, but a little bit off the surface they could be here towards Clinton. So even if there's not a tornado, you're going to be wanting to take shelter anyway. This is a very concerning storm here. Let's get an update here on our hailstorms in southeastern Iowa. Again, this one near Mount Pleasant is increasingly concerning here. It's warned for 2-inch hail. And maybe even a little bit of rotation there, heading for Mount Pleasant. So, again, these Midwestern storms are looking much more concerning than down in the Deep South. But if you have any questions about your location, leave them down below. We can see some pretty intimidating clouds entering our live cam there in what town was this again? Rural Wisconsin. This is Brooklyn, Wisconsin. So again, those ominous clouds could be associated with a few storms as well, so you got to look out for that. But again, the main one we're watching here is near Clinton and Tiffany in Wisconsin. This is a tornadic thunderstorm here, capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, and possibly even a tornado. I imagine this tornado warning will be reissued here because it is about to expire. But again, 10 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 tornado warning. But the main severe thunderstorm warning is the one that has the tornado possible 2-inch hail tag there in northeast Iowa. Or southeast Iowa, not northeast. I was thinking northeastern Missouri and southeast Iowa, and I just put them together and said northeast Iowa. Maybe some rotation trying to develop here. Those wind gust readings are not accurate in the slightest, do not worry. There's not a 160 mile an hour winds on it. That's ridiculous. That's just a glitch. So we got a new velocity update here. In Clinton, still huge swath here of damaging winds. Again, these are elevated. This is not what the surface is saying, but elevated gusts over 100 miles an hour. In fact, now that I look at it, that may actually just be the radar scan. That may not be a part of the storm. That may just be a radar signature. So sorry about that. There may not actually be 100 mile an hour winds elevated here in Clinton. That could just be from the radar signature. That's my bad. There are not 100 mile an hour winds in Clinton, likely. And I mean, I was saying there wasn't anyway, but there's not even elevated. It looks like that's not a thing now. I probably should have recognized that that was elevated sooner, but I didn't, so sorry about that. This tornado has already seen this area has already seen a huge tornado. Last month, we had an EF2 go through the Evansville area. So this tornado warning expires in 1 minute, very likely going to be reissued here, as there is still some concerning looking rotation and a swath of high winds. Again, not 100 miles an hour. Probably should have realized that was just the radar signature, but that's my bad. That makes me look silly. Anybody in the weather community now is probably laughing at me. Again, that's your swath of severe thunderstorms. The tornado warning has expired. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning here. That is going to be for St. John the Baptist and Tangipahoa County in Louisiana. That is for a storm here down in Louisiana that was on water, but it's been strong this whole time. Fortunately, it is in a very bad radar hole. So, it's a little hard to see, but there is some large hail and damaging winds, looks like. So, let's go back up here to Wisconsin. The tornado warning has not been reissued at the minute, but just as a precautionary thing, in DeLavin and Elkhorn, don't be surprised if your phone goes off warning you about a tornado. If that happens, you need to take shelter, and I would not be surprised at this point if that did happen. But at the minute, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, so we can keep our eyes off of it for a little bit and check out our storms here in southeast Iowa. They're doing large hail. Again, when one threat's gone, it doesn't mean we're done. There's several different storms that are causing some major, major problems right now. And maybe just a slight bit of broad rotation here in the Mount Pleasant area. Nothing super tornadic per se, but could be later down the line, possibly. I don't know. I'm conflicted now if those winds are real or if that's just a radar signature. Again, those aren't the actual wind speeds no matter what because they're elevated, but it's looking like those could be real winds. That's not just a radar signature. There could be real, slightly elevated winds here over 100 miles an hour. I keep going back and forth, but I think these winds are real here. So we might see some wind damage in the Avalon area. They just went through there. Same thing with Clinton. I don't know, because you look from another radar and they're still there, so they may actually be real 100 mile per hour plus winds, just a little bit off the surface. Maybe something, a little bit of rotation here towards Prophetstown, Illinois, starting to develop, but again, nothing tornadic yet, per se. Not even in the slightest. So we got that radar update here. Yeah, I'm leaning back on the side that these are real. I guess this isn't an update, but I'm leaning back on the side that these are real winds. Again, I keep changing my mind. It's a little unprofessional, and I should probably be able to tell the difference, but I'm thinking those are real winds there. And it looks like the rotation may be picking back up on it as well here. So again, do not be surprised if this tornado warning gets issued for this whole area. I'm honestly a little surprised that it hasn't gotten issued yet. So we do have 12 reports of large hail already today sent in to the National Weather Service. So let's actually check those out there. Yeah, all of them, or not all of them, most of them are in the Midwest, and then some are down in Louisiana. Nothing super significant, some ping pong ball size hail, but looks like we got some reports of traffic jams because of these storms. Again, very ominous clouds overhead here on our radar in Wisconsin. Again, a strong area of rotation is starting to redevelop here. So even though there's not a tornado warning on this storm, at this point, it is better to be safe than sorry and take shelter if you are about to get hit by this storm here. So this whole area down the line, when this hits you, you need to be prepared to take shelter. Looks like we may have a little pocket of high winds here in southeastern Arkansas, but we are in a pretty bad radar hole, so it's kind of hard to tell. Let's, yeah, again, this whole area, I'm guessing very soon you guys are going to get a tornado warning issued for you. And very surprised they stuck with the marginal risk, even at the 2 p.m. update they did. Because these are quite obviously supercellular. But I really figured a slight risk would get issued here for the Midwest. But we're live here anyway. Usually I only do severe weather lives if there's a slight risk or an enhanced risk. But we're here for this marginal risk that's arguably just as significant as a slight risk. We've already got huge hail, tornadic activity here. The storm for Davenport has been upgraded to 1.75 inch hail. So again, you're going to want to seek shelter to protect yourself from this hail here in Edgington, Oak Grove, Taylor Ridge, Andalusia. There is some massive hail on this thing. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning there. That is going to be for which one is it? For Henry County, Iowa. 2-inch hail. Oh, wait, no, that's not the new one. Not sure. Oh, it's this one in northeast Missouri. So if you're in this one, you need to seek shelter for Luray, Granger, Arbela, and Revere. Not only is there 2-inch hail, but there's a tornado possible tag. And we got another new severe thunderstorm warning here for Henry County, Iowa, Des Moines County, Iowa, and Lucia County, Iowa. That's an extension for this one. So again, seek shelter here when this hits you in Morning Sun, New London, and Mount Union, because there is some massive hail and possibly some tornadic rotation there. Again, at the minute, it's not too concerning in terms of a tornadic threat, but it could be later down the line. They've put tornado possible tags on almost all of our severe warnings in the Midwest just as a precautionary thing, because these are very favorable cells to go tornadic in this kind of environment here. Oh, what the heck? I don't know what I did. We still have our remnants of the winter storm out here in the western United States, but it's finally dying down in the eastern California, eastern Nevada area. Gusts got up to 145 miles an hour with that blizzard, which is the highest wind gust we've seen this year from anything in terms of the weather. And it came from a blizzard. Very interesting stuff. Like, even out of all the tornadoes we've had, the winds in that blizzard were higher than those tornadoes at times. It was at a ski resort in Sierra Nevada that we got that recorded 145 gust. Again, this storm, well, not again, but this storm here in the Prophetstown, Illinois area, there's going to be a new storm approaching you soon. You're about to finish with that storm, but there's going to be a new one approaching you soon that's only warned for 1-inch hail, but I'm guessing that's going to get upgraded because there's a very concerning hail core developing towards the north of LeClaire. So you're going to want to look out for that. The storm you just had, alright, obviously it was big, but this next one's going to be even bigger. Again, even though there's not even a tornado warning on this storm anymore in southern Wisconsin, I'm watching it extremely closely because we've got a hook there starting to form, and there's possible rotation. So, we'll see what that does. Again, it's really a linear threat here. This line of storms is kind of all the same line, and it's going to head southeast here um, towards parts of central Illinois, southern Indiana. That's where it's heading next. I think by the time it gets to Indiana, it'll probably weaken out, but and at the minute, looking pretty intense here. So you're gonna want to look out for that in the overnight hours if you are ahead of this line of storms here. Stay tuned into your local National Weather Service. Check the weather every now and then. Because even though it is a linear line of storms, which is not quite as good for producing tornadoes, we could see something pop off. And if it happens in your area, you're going to want to wish that you had prepared for a tornado. So also know where your tornado safe space is. Usually it's in a basement, an area without windows in the middle of your house. But basement's the best thing, unless you have a storm shelter, obviously. That's the best thing. We got our two areas that have the 2% tornado risks. So if you're in this green blob, you have a 2% chance to see a tornado in your town there. That's from New Orleans back up to Shreveport. And then if you're in this 2% blob as well here in the Midwest, that goes all the way from Milwaukee back into parts of Missouri, you're also at a 2% risk of seeing a tornado in your town. So even if you're outside of those risks, though, that doesn't mean you can't see something. That's just where the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center guess it's going to happen if it does happen. They're not saying that's guaranteed to be where it happens, because even in 2024, we cannot predict exactly where a tornado drops. We can make a guess of what area has a chance to see tornadoes, but if anybody says, oh yeah, a tornado's going to hit Galesburg, unless there's actually a tornado on the ground in Galesburg, they're lying to you. They have no idea. So again, something that could be a hook trying to form here on this storm that's heading towards DeLaven and Elkhorn in Wisconsin here. And again, this line of storms is generally moving southeast. It was way further back up to the northwest here, producing one heck of a winter storm for North Dakota, Minnesota. But now it's down here doing severe weather for the areas where it's a bit warmer. So just in general, this system is pretty intense, whether it's doing snow or big storms. If you're in the Chicago area, you could see a storm or two, but I don't think severe weather's in the cards for you guys. At least it's not likely. Maybe the Chicago suburbs are a bit more likely to see that, like Joliet, Aurora, DeKalb, Rockford. You guys definitely have a better chance, I'd say, of seeing severe storms. I think Rockford already has than Chicago does. But Chicago, we can't rule it out, which is why that marginal risk is in place for you guys, but I don't think it's quite as likely. We had a new severe thunderstorm warning for Union County, Arkansas, Union County, Louisiana, and Claiborne County, Louisiana. It's interesting. They're both Union County, right along the border there. It's like one big county, but it's across two states. That's interesting. Obviously, that's not actually what it is, but they both have the same name, so I just thought it was funny, but it's not that funny. Again, impressive radar look here. That's what I'm going to say for this storm up here in southern Wisconsin. It's hard to say whether or not these are real damaging winds. I'm going to guess they're not, just because the National Weather Service definitely would have upgraded this, but it's concerning. Speaking of which, they did upgrade it. Speaking of upgrading it, they did just put the tornado possible tag on it. So rather than reissuing that tornado warning, they just put the tornado possible tag on it, which I think is an interesting choice. I really figured they would just issue a tornado warning. Because it's looking like things are starting to pick back up even more here towards Darien and DeLaven in southern Wisconsin. Sorry, I keep zooming out. We do have some special marine warnings down here in Louisiana for storms over waters. Again, Davenport, a massive hailstorm is about to hit, I think, probably just to the south of you. I think if you're in Davenport, you're probably going to miss the most intense part of this. But if you're just to the south of Davenport, it's time to go. It's time to seek shelter here. Huge hail core here at the minute over Walnut Grove and Buffalo in Iowa, heading into Illinois. Again, this whole area here is what we're very concerned about. Towards DeLaven and Elkhorn. Once this storm hits you guys, you gotta get to shelter. Very surprised they've not reissued a tornado warning. Just look at the camera there in southern Wisconsin. It's a good, I'd say 30, 35 miles away from the greatest area of rotation, and we're still seeing very ominous clouds. Again, this is a pretty favorable environment for severe storms and tornadoes. In parts of the Midwest at the minute. So again, all of the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in the Midwest, I'm not talking about the ones in the Deep South, but all the ones in the Midwest have tornado possible tags on them because they're all doing a little bit of rotation. Again, it's broad rotation, which is why there's not warnings on any of them. But you gotta look out if you're down the line from these, because they could strengthen and be a tornado when they hit you. Again, the most concerning one is by far this one up here in southern Wisconsin. So, if you have any questions about your location, again, leave them down below in chat. I'll try to answer them honestly and accurately. But these are very big storms in the Midwest and the Deep South at the minute here. And that hook's still kind of there on this storm up in southern Wisconsin, which could lead to something tornadic. So, we'll watch this for a little bit here. We haven't had a new severe warning issued for a while. And there's the tornado warning that I was talking about. There it is. It's now in effect there. This is for Elkhorn, Turtle Lake, Richmond, Johnstown, Troy, and East Troy here in Wisconsin. This is a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado now, as recognized by the National Weather Service. And again, it's not like I didn't give you guys a good ahead of time of warning. I was talking about this, 20 minutes out. I was like, hey, this could get reissued, so watch out. And it did now. So yeah, that'll be in effect until 4:45 p.m. Central Time. Look at the base velocities. It's very interesting. This storm is moving to the northeast at 40 miles an hour, so pretty quick moving storm actually. The hook's becoming even a little bit more defined now here towards Darien. If I were issuing this warning, I'd move it a little bit further to the south to let all these towns know about this threat, because I think the tornado cannot be ruled out of dropping down here. But there is very concerning rotation now to the south of Turtle Lake. I think if this is not already dropped a tornado, it's going to very soon to the south of Turtle Lake in Wisconsin. It is getting incredibly tight. So, again, concerning rotation here, heading off to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So if you're in Richmond or Johnstown, the threat's past you. Turtle Lake, give us a couple of minutes, see what this does. But Troy, East Troy, you're next in line. If this tornado stays on the ground the whole time, it could be hitting you. I just now realized if you zoom in a little bit, there's a ton of very small communities out here. Our live cam here is actually in kind of a dead zone because of these storms. It looks like some power may be down even. Yeah, that live cam is that's knocked out. We don't know what happened. That stinks too, because that was a really good live cam. It was in like the perfect area. Let's see. Okay, that is faulty. I did not mean to turn that on. That's my bad. That was probably very loud on the stream. I'm sorry about that. This hook is becoming even more defined here, but this isn't actually where the rotation is. It's out here, this little area poking out of the storm. There's also a very big hail core on this thing now. So if this tornado warning's hail reading gets upgraded from less than 3/4 of an inch, I would not be surprised. I'm kind of surprised it got issued as that low of a hail core. Again, very concerning rotation here. A little hard to see with the correlation coefficient if there's anything on the ground because it's in a very messy spot, but if that tornado warning gets upgraded, it would not shock me. We got our live cam back here. Our live cam is back in southwestern, or south central Wisconsin. I was just about to look for a new live cam, but we got it back luckily. Turtle Lake, you're probably good now. There's probably not much of a tornadic threat left for you. So Tibbetts and Apples Court are your next. Lauderdale. So again, this needs to be watched very closely here. Hopefully we've got a storm chaser on this thing watching it, because we need to know if this tornado drops here, because it's in a decently populated area. This may also be a rain wrap tornado, so I mean it's good advice for any tornado, but do not go outside and try to look for this thing. That is just really stupid, because you're not likely gonna see it. And you don't want to be out there looking for it anyway. That's a very bad idea. I know that's kind of Midwestern culture up here, but not a good idea here. So again, this is the only tornado warning we have in effect. We haven't gotten a new severe thunderstorm warning for a while, luckily. I think a lot of them are about to expire as well. Waiting for this next radar update here. It should be any second now. In south central Wisconsin, southeastern Wisconsin. Possible tornado on the ground here. Oh my gosh. Okay, very multiple areas of concerning rotation here. This is one of the messier storms I've seen on the radar, that's for sure. It's hard to tell what's real because we're so close to the radar. We're getting a lot of bad signatures. So, like, this stuff up here, this is a full signature, alright? It's very obvious. It's very blocky, very pixelated, very scattered. But whenever it's in a mess like this, it's harder to tell what's real. But it's best just to assume everything's real and take shelter. Sorry if you hear a car outside. There is a car horn going off. Like a, you know what I mean? Like if you push the red button on your keys. And very large hail here falling just to the south of Davenport. Maybe a new concerning area rotation trying to develop here in northwestern Illinois, but at the minute, not too bad. There's 2-inch hail now on this warning, though. It literally just got upgraded, so if you're in here, you need to seek shelter. Nothing too bad tornadic, I should say, but there is something bad. It's the large hail. So again, these winds are fake, right? It's obvious you're not really seeing 120-mile-an-hour winds there. But it's harder to tell whenever it's mixed in here with a real storm. Again, multiple concerning areas of rotation here in southeastern Wisconsin. We're going to keep an eye out on this. Again, very surprised they did not go for the slight risk of severe weather with this event at the 2 p.m. update. The 2000Z update. Because this is really quite a big event. This will definitely be classified as a severe weather outbreak, I think. Not a tornado outbreak, though. I'd be very surprised if we get to tornado outbreak level. So let's wait for the velocities update here. We're actually going to double box. We're going to have the velocities and the reflectivity up at the same time here. So again, wind speeds on your right, storm, precipitation on your left. Maybe weakening rotation here. Still, though, stay in shelter. But weakening rotation for sure, actually, here. Again, this would be your area of rotation, but it's much less tight now. It's not quite as defined. I know I literally just turned the double box on, but I think I'm gonna get out of it. What's cool is that you can actually do a triple or a quadruple box. I don't remember how you do it. It's like, no. How do you do it? There's some way to do a triple box on this, or a quadruple box. Why do I keep saying triple box? But you can get 4 boxes up at once. Oh no, it's not tab. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's pretty cool. Radar Omega's got a lot of cool stuff. Not a sponsor, obviously. Believe it or not, I'm not a big enough channel to get sponsors. Again, a couple of hooks here. This little area poking out of the storm is the most concerning one. It's not really a hook, but it's something tornadic towards Tibbets. Again, we may have had a tornado touchdown. We're really not sure at the minute. We can't even confirm with the correlation coefficient because it's super messy as well. Let's back it up a few frames. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I thought we were going to see. We're definitely not getting anything out of this. New severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to be for Rock Island, Henry, Whiteside, Illinois, and then Scott County, Iowa. This is an extension of our other warning. This is for 1.5-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, tornado possible. Hail core is weakening. You don't have to seek shelter if you don't want to. Would still be wise, though, because, again, we're getting a hook, though, that does not look like anything good. That's all I'll say. Headed for the Coal Valley area. Again, just to the southeast of Davenport now. Again, most concerning rotation we have right now is up here in southern Wisconsin. Got that new radar update. Yeah, it's getting a little bit more messy. That could indicate some weakening of rotation, but we have to wait for the velocities to update to confirm for sure. Yeah, definitely some weakening of rotation, but stay in shelter, because it could strengthen again. Could recycle here. I mean, for a few scans, it was an intense rotation couplet here. Very intense, actually, but yeah, I'm actually going to go to the restroom really quickly. I'm going to keep this storm pulled up here. Got our live cam still on. I will be back in like 5 minutes, so, stick with me here. Here, wait, you know what? Well, actually, I'm going to put a thing up here that says BRB. Alright. Actually, no, I've got to draw that better than that. BRB. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Alright, everybody, we are back here. He's only gone for a couple of minutes, so hopefully nothing big happened while I was gone. No, we don't even have a radar update yet. No new warnings. Oh, wait, there was a new warning issued. Shoot, there was a new tornado warning. So it was for this storm that I was talking about. Again, I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying, I warned you ahead of time. This thing has a huge looking hook, and there it is. New tornado warning for northwestern Illinois, for Rock Island, Henry, and Whiteside County. Seek shelter immediately. Lowest floor possible, away from windows. New severe thunderstorm warning down in Arkansas. Again, not too concerned about the deep south at the minute. Just some gusty winds, small hail. Again, this hail core here is getting huge towards Morrison, so you need to take cover, get your vehicles, pets inside. Got a new update here on this storm. Maybe a bit of rotation picking back up even. If not, just some gusty winds here, so stay in shelter. Couple areas of rotation that are a little concerning there in southeastern Wisconsin. Want to keep watching this new tornado warning here to the southeast of Davenport. Again, nothing majorly concerning, but rotation and a hook is enough to get that tornado warning. And our live cam is going down again, unfortunately. Again, very bad signal area, especially after storms roll through. But it's a very rural area anyway, so it's just kind of bad in general. Let's see if we can find a new live cam to look at. Yeah, there's really none that are as good as that one there. This is a Storm Chaser that's live, so I can't pull up his because of copyright reasons. And there's really no other good ones to look at, so I guess we just wait for this one to come back up. And you know what? It looks like it might be, actually. Perfect timing. I was just about to find a new one. Well, actually, I just said we're going to leave this one up, so not really, but anyway. This storm will be heading off towards the Milwaukee area pretty soon. So, Milwaukee, down the line, you gotta look out for this. You're not even under a risk for severe weather from the SPC, but you might see something with this. So a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Des Moines counties and that county I don't know how to pronounce in Iowa. This is a extenuation here, a continuation and an extension. I try to put those words together, it doesn't work. A continuation of our storm here that had the bigger hail core. It's weakening, so, but new severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Iowa. Let's go back up here to Wisconsin. Got a flood advisory here for the Janesville area for all this heavy rainfall. That is another concerning aspect of this storm. Some isolated flooding may occur. Spots here in southern Wisconsin, possibly over 3 inches of rain. Isolated spots there. Let's take a look from Davenport's radar. Maybe a little bit of rain there on the Illinois-Iowa border, up to 2 inches in isolated spots. Let's look at the Chicago radar. Nothing showing up yet because there's no ongoing storms. So, again, that's just the rainfall from these storms. We have another round coming on later, but probably not. So, yeah. This severe thunderstorm warning in northeastern Missouri is about to expire. Might get reissued. One of these is about to expire, but it already got reissued. This one's about to expire, but it already got reissued. This one's about to expire, so we may see a continuation, or an extenuation, as I said earlier, for this hail core here near Morrison. It's not getting any smaller. It's getting a little bit more widespread if it's making any changes, but I think it's similar looking to what it was before. This severe thunderstorm warning is about to expire. Will probably get extended. Maybe not, though. This area is not quite as favorable for severe storms to do their thing. Yeah, again, weakening rotation, but it's done a few cycles here, so we can't rule a possible tornado out here in the Troy area in Wisconsin. So if you're in Troy, the time to seek shelter is in like 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't have anything going on, just get there now, because there's no reason not be there then at this point. Luckily, we do have a storm chaser right on top of this thing here in northwest Illinois, so if something does happen with it, we will know for sure, likely, but yeah. Again, nothing majorly concerning in terms of rotation at the moment. If you have any questions about your location, leave them down below in chat. We are looking at a pretty widespread severe weather outbreak ongoing here, all the way from the deep south back into the Midwest here. So if you have any questions about your location related to the weather, leave them down below. I will try to answer them as accurately and as honestly as possible, because that's my job here. This tornado warning just got shrunk, still radar indicated, and the hail is on quarter size now. So our live cam is down again, unfortunately, here in south central Wisconsin. It's just going to keep doing its thing, alright? It's going to go out, it's going to come back on. So we're just going to leave it there. Nothing we can do about it, really. We got a new tornado warning here. This is for 2-inch hail for Morrison and Sterling there in Illinois. Sorry if you hear something in the background. That is a vacuum. But yeah, that's a new tornado warning there for that area. So seek shelter immediately. Lowest floor possible away from windows. Got 3 tornado warnings ongoing, which is not something that usually happens in a marginal risk. I'd just like to point that out. It's a very interesting sighting. And even just for the hail threat at that point, you'd want to seek shelter. That's off of the storm that I was saying they were going to extend the severe warning for. They might not. They may just keep the tornado warning and not extend the severe thunderstorm warning. So again, 3 tornado warnings here in the Midwestern United States across Illinois and Wisconsin. Northern Illinois is starting to get a little spike in activity here in terms of tornadic storms. So, again, nothing majorly concerning, but it's just enough to the point where they will issue that tornado warning, I think. I mean, they already did, but I'm saying that it's just barely good enough to be issued, is what I think. So, considering the fact that there's no major rotation at the minute, and a ton of our severe warnings just dropped, we're down to 3 severe warnings, or 4 severe warnings. None of them are considerable even. And there's no significant areas of rotation at the minute. But if you're in a tornado warning, seek shelter. But I'm thinking, for at least a little bit, I'm going to end the live stream here, and if anything pops off, I will be back. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to be the last stream today. I'm also not guaranteeing I'm going to do another stream today. It just depends on if something happens or not, alright? So, that's a new severe thunderstorm warning there for Walworth, Waukesha, Jefferson, and Racine counties in Wisconsin. They did extend the severe warning. So, with that, I'm going to end things off here. Again, if things pick up again, you know I'll be back on here covering severe weather. So, thank you all for tuning in. And